Everyone, welcome in the room. I'm Dr. Sian Dines, Clinical Psychologist, and we're here for meditation on the beautiful Sunshine Coast, Australia. Welcome in the room. We have a birthday and we have Anne in person, so it's great to see you because Anne's been one of our longest listeners, I think, online, so it's really exciting when you can actually travel and make it to the Sunshine Coast. Very pretty place to visit if you also listen online and would like to join us. You're more than welcome. Okay, usually I do a little bit of a chat before we commence meditation. One of the things I wanted to just mention, and I know I'm not sure you can always see my pictures online, but basically I just want your mind to visualize a bell-shaped curve. Does everyone know what a bell-shaped curve is? It's like a statistically proven curve, okay? When things occur down at the bottom of the bell-shaped curve, they're the lower percentiles. They are when things are unlikely to be successful, okay? The top is the average range, and in my language, it's where we attain balance, okay? So when we're thinking about a semicircle, a bell-shaped curve, what happens with our behaviours when we do anxiety of any form? We go through certain behaviours. Let me just explain. When we do anxiety, we may drop into a fight, flight, freeze or fib. We're aware of that. So our fight might be verbally to fight or to physically fight. And the big A associated with that is perceived attack. We jump in and perceive attack. Somebody's out to get us, so we're going to get them, okay? When we do flight, we often do, in the modern day world, flight of ideas. Show of hands if your head ruminates and you think, okay, over and over. It's a very good one. If anyone can find me an A word for that, I'd really appreciate it. But we all just go into this rumination and overthinking and worrying, and often fortune telling. Okay, we were discussing it this morning. We often go from A to Z and have created a whole world, usually negative. It'd be lovely if the fortune telling was fantasy, you're allowed to have that. But if it's anxiety driven, it's right out there manifesting and believing the worst has occurred. And it often has very, very little connection to what the truth was and what transpired. We do the dotted lines and we go so fast. Does everyone know what I mean? Yeah? So we do that style of anxiety where we do the worrying and overthinking, yeah? And that's often a flight of ideas because it's so fast, yeah? We also do flight. Does anyone do flight when you're busy? You have to stay physically busy, yeah? Okay? So that's a different one. That's a style of avoidance, okay? But it's still there. You like the people around you go, oh, please sit still, because the energy you're putting out is like this, okay? So there's that. We even noticed one today. Another flight is a flight of mouth. I'm a talker, so I find this one quite funny. But if you're a bit anxious, you might talk to 10 to the dozen, like a little every ready buddy. And other people are like, do they ever quieten? Do they ever shut up? Yeah, okay. So, and I'm showing no judgment here to any human being. One, the given here is we're all human, we all do these behaviours. My question to you all is self-reflect in meditation. Get to know your traits better. Once we start to know ourselves, we dance with our shadow side lightly, so it doesn't become this intense burden. Okay? If you know you talk too much, you can have a laugh at yourself and you can reflect. Of course, you're doing mindfulness like I teach you regularly throughout the day. And you can have a little giggle and you can stop yourself. Yeah? Or if you know that you spack out and freak everyone out because you're so busy, you can quietly stand still and calm yourself and ground yourself and go, ooh, I must be a bit anxious. I must settle down. Yeah? Okay? If you know you perceive attack, bloody gob yourself. Sorry, that's an Aussie language. So anyway, you can stop and think before you speak, and don't dive in there perceiving attack and say no first and push back the other person and upset the other person. Okay? So when we get to know our little traits, be it fight, flight, freeze, I didn't quite finish. The other one is fib. People fib. Kids do it all the time to school teachers and parents. They get busted for something and somebody's telling them or expecting them to say, "What have you done?" And they're like the deer in the headlights. And they have no idea what's going on. And every form of word and cognitive function seems to have retreated, because it does, actually, if we want to go through the biology of it. And the brain wiring and firing does pull back, okay, into your animal midbrain. And your biochemistry does take off. And the adrenaline and the cortisol does take over. And this happens so quickly that's why people drop into their traits, okay? So the fib one, be aware too that people of all ages, by the way, not just children, will fib when they feel cornered, okay? So that is often a person that does sort of more avoidance. You know how I said some perceive attack and some get angry and agitated and some actually avoid. And so they're avoiding to try and find their space, their words, their thoughts. And if somebody's demanding a response from them, they might just fib just to send the person away, get out of my space, basically, or say the first thing that comes to them. So I'm hoping this is sort of painting a picture for you. Because if we understand, one, we're a spiritual or higher vibrational energy that's incarnated to have a physical experience, and we're in human form, we must then be accountable for being aware that in human form we are a bundle of biochemistry. We do have brain wiring and firing and a sympathetic or a parasympathetic nervous system that will take off from being calm, parasympathetic, over to sympathetic, like this, okay? And we then need to know, oh, okay, we've proceeded, we're now working from our animal and our midbrain, and we're working from what I would call a lower vibration, okay? So on a vibrational scale, we're down here in the red zone, okay? Okay, we've dropped right back down into faulty assumptions, perceived attack, anger and agitation, annoyance, avoidance, all the things we've just mentioned, okay? And by the way, if you hang out there too long, you also adapt a whole heap of faulty coping strategies. And that's the problem with our society, because in the animal brain, you were meant to drop into fight or flight and flee, and to do this as a quick response to danger, okay? But perceived danger in our Western and not just in our human societies now, in our modern world, is very, very different. It's very longitudinal, it lasts longer, it goes on for a longer duration, etc. And so if your body is in this anxious state to quit for too long, you then may adopt other A's that are faulty coping strategies. Addictions to drug and alcohol, addictions to gambling, addictions to work, addictions to sex, addictions to avoiding your life, okay? So that's where it has. Anorexia nervosa, eating disorders, another A. Okay, so if you have a look, you can find your longitudinal ways of behaving that may no longer be serving you as well. Okay? So your short-term quick responses to an unexpected experience or an unexpected question, conversation, okay, will lead to these fast responses. But if in a Western world where we endure a lot of stress, it may be that you find through that stress you've actually adapted faulty coping behaviours, and that they give you more trouble. So where am I heading with this? If you have any of the addictions or other behaviours like avoidance, but you do it too intensely, too frequently, for a long duration, it becomes a problem. It's down at the bottom of the bell-shaped curve. And often we get stuck in doing nothing. We use those words, or people talk about lazy or procrastinate or can't get things done. We often get frustrated. That's that avoidance, but that's a warning sign to you that it's been going on too long. Okay, and you're not optimizing. You're not up here in balance. The other way that people often don't notice, especially if they perceive that they have healthy addictions like work, etc., or exercise, or these ones that apparently society doesn't judge so much. But when you're over in that, if you're at the other side of the bell-shaped curve where you're doing all, and that means all too intense, all too frequent for a long duration, then any of those behaviours are problematic too. Why are they problematic? Because often they require a lot of control, okay? So you're not allowing for the flow. You're not allowing for the flow, synchronicity, grace, higher vibrational energy and wisdom and consciousness of truth, love, and abundance. You're not allowing for manifesting. You're not allowing for all the other facets of your life. And mostly you're not allowing for the other people to have an opinion or have a belief or have any say because you're so busy controlling. Yeah, we got a few laughs, so a few people still with me and know what they do. Okay, good awareness. If you're listening and you know what you do, then think about it. Think about, when do I use control and I'm so armoured up, mate, nobody's getting in. Can't find my shiny diamond, can't throw it to me quickly. Okay. So basically our shiny diamond, our heart, is meant to be free-flowing, radiating love and trust and receiving love with gratitude and awareness. Thanks so much. So that's my shiny diamond, just representing our heart, our soul, our consciousness, our truth. Love in an unconditional way. Top of the bell-shaped curve, beautiful balance. Yeah? Wouldn't that be optimal? That's when we float around in the blue zone and we look great. By the way, that's just the energy chart you can drop down later. Okay, staying with me, everyone got it? So when we meditate, we are cleansing. We are cleansing away all that control. Blah. We are cleansing away all that need to be in charge and wear that armour, and nobody's going to get in. And by the way, nobody's going to feel your love. And by the way, you've clammed up to the point that you're not receiving love. Okay, that's in its worst state. So if you're doing that, then the invitation is throw away your armour in the meditations. Come back and breathe in trust, safety, awareness that I'm resourced, I'm resilient, I'm like everyone else, and you will be able to allow in flow. And if you do the other style and you avoid and you shut down, you feel terribly alone, you too aren't receiving or radiating love. So when you're doing that, by the way, it's a passive-aggressive control of as well, so it is still control. So when you're doing that style of avoidance, allow yourself to go, wow, maybe that's not serving me as well. Maybe I need to find my voice. Maybe I need to set boundaries. Oh, okay, maybe I can come up into balance. And if you're having trouble with workplace communications, home relationships, couples, etc., watch, because one or both are hanging out in the low vibrational zone. Okay? And they're doing too much control, too much avoidance, too much perceived attack, too much assumptions. Sorry for my English. And your invitation is to come back up here to balance, to grow into a place where I can trust. People often talk about their life purpose and why did I incarnate. And for many, they perceive having gained sort of maturity and a house and a mortgage and the kids and the pets, etc., and liking their jobs, that they're successful. That's cutting yourself off at the red zone here. Come and just zoom in if you could. And yet, the invitation in life, our life purpose, is actually to awaken right up into the blue zone and beyond. Awaken from being constrained and controlled into flowing, into trusting, into allowing. And in that, we attain some self-realization and self-empowerment and trust. Hang in there for 1 minute. And so, the invitation in meditation, the invitation in personal growth and development, it's not this woo-woo spirituality, it's not just philosophy for a few, it's for all of mankind to awaken humankind, to awaken into a space of awareness where they can trust that they are enough, that they are worthy of love. Not only receiving love, but radiating love. Most of our problem isn't actually that we don't feel worthy of receiving love. Most people are very selfish and take love wherever they can get it. Our problem is that we don't perceive that we're worthy to radiate love. So we avoid, we attack, we do all of this. But if we actually trust that we are worthy, be just for existing because we come from source and are source, then we work from balance. And guess what? Our love flows. And so we offer compassion to others. And we allow others to be on their own journey. Because it's not loving to try and control somebody else's journey. You don't know their karma. You don't know their philosophies, their beliefs, their religion, their other reasons why they may be on that journey. And if you control somebody else's journey, you may prohibit them from many experiences that they've incarnated to have. It may be, but you give them an extra lifetime. I tell you what, that's enough to contain me in my job, to not control somebody. I don't want to be responsible for giving somebody else another lifetime to come in and learn what they had decided they wanted to learn. So just contemplate. Where are you playing God? Where are you controlling other human beings? Okay? But God, I like as the greater organised design. Where are you not allowing the greater organised design to flow freely? Okay? Wait, because we're going to do it in 2 videos. So thank you very much for listening. It's a great opportunity to really contemplate, how does anxiety play out in my life? How do I do fight, flight, freeze or fib? How do I make faulty assumptions and control on behalf of other human beings? How do I attack and push back and prevent other human beings from communicating their desires and living their life? How do I avoid and shun and believe that I'm really not hurting anyone, but by not participating, that may be bringing hurt to others too? How do I play out my human existence? Okay? And as you do that, contemplate that through your meditations. Contemplate it daily through mini mindfulness, and enable yourself to feel empowered to address your little faulty beliefs, your little faulty habits, and recognize them even as limiting, and allow yourself to expand, to trust, to love, to be aware that you are a conscious being where there is unlimited information available to you, unlimited ways of responding. You are abundant and you can manifest with ease and grace. So be it, so be it, so be it. Thank you. Keaton, go to town and try and work out how we're going to cut this, and then we're going to come back on to do a meditation. Hang in there, to consider it an ad break at home. Find yourself a comfortable position here in the room or at home, while Keaton just sees if he can cut that and come back again. Thank you.